Trees that grow too close to power lines can cause outages, start fires, or create other dangerous conditions. So maintaining trees is an important part of Pacific Power's job. Every year we invest nearly $35 million to find, prune, or remove potential problem trees to make sure you have safe and reliable electricity. Sometimes our work happens in remote forested areas and you might not be aware of it. But often the safety pruning we do can affect the way the trees in your own neighborhood look. If you don't know what to expect, it may seem odd, even wrong. So we'd like you to know how we do this job. I'm here with Ken Armstrong, our utility forester. Ken, what's the first thing you think people don't know about your job?
It's a science, that there's a science involved in pruning the trees away from our conductors.
You and your crews have won some awards for your tree pruning.
That's correct. We've been named as a Treeline USA utility. What it means is that the National Arbor Day Foundation has come in and looked at our tree care program and found that our specifications provide for the most up-to-date methods for tree care while still providing a safe and reliable service.
How do you get trained for this job?
All of our company foresters are certified by the International Society of Arboriculture, as are all of our contract supervisors and forest technicians. It shows that they know more about trees than just line clearance. They know about fertilization, insect and disease control, cabling and bracing, and all different methods of tree care, tree identification. And it's not just a one-time take the test, become certified. It requires continuing education.
What's your general approach toward pruning a tree?
We use natural or target pruning, and what that means is we're trying to direct that growth away from our conductors. What we found is if you can prune the tree properly and direct that growth away, that'll grow up and around the conductors, and the tree can go on to be that 100-foot tall tree it wants to, and we can still maintain safe and reliable service to our customers.
It looks like there's a certain amount of danger in doing this work.
Oh yes, there's a lot of danger. They're working around high voltage, and not only do they have to know how to prune trees, but they got to know how to work safely around that high voltage conductors, and they have special tools up there that allow them to do this work safely. As opposed to a property owner that goes out there and sees some wires going through a tree and they think they're going to help us out, they could hurt themselves. They don't have the training and they don't have the proper tools to do that work. You know, we request that if they see something close to the wires that they feel that there's a hazard involved, give us a call.
I've heard of this roundover method where you basically just lop the top of the tree off. Is that a strategy that you use?
That doesn't work for our industry. You're making a lot of wounds into the tree so that there's more of a chance for decay to get into the tree. And also you're upsetting the growth hormone imbalance in the tree, so the tree's going to grow back, sucker back faster. And where's it going to go as far as if there's a utility line overhead? It's going to go right back into those conductors. And so the property owner's lost, the utility's lost because they can't maintain their line clearance, and the tree's health's been compromised. So it's better to use that natural target pruning where you can direct that growth up and around the conductors.
Are there seasonal issues as far as the pruning goes?
Our crews are working year-round, but they got to be conscious that up in the mountains, you know, we have snow load that we got to take into consideration, and many of our lines go up through those areas, as well as in some of the communities we serve. So we got to make sure that if there's limbs above the conductors, that they're going to withstand some snow load. They aren't going to bend down into the conductors and so on. So the crew's got to look up above the conductors as well.
And is wind also an issue?
Oh yeah, a lot of our service territory gets some pretty extreme winds coming through, and so we got to look for weak spots in the trees, weak crotches, weak branches, disease, and those kind of things.
So these are really properly pruned trees.
That's correct. You can see where we're trying to get that growth away from our conductors. You'll see the trees growing up beside the conductors or around the conductors. You get some of that V shape to it, where the conductors are passing right through the middle or off to the side, you know, where you got that tree that wants to grow tall and we're trying to let it grow tall. So the utility wins by getting proper line clearance. The property owner wins by not only having a safe and reliable service, but the tree's health is not compromised. So it's a win-win.
Do you ever come across a situation in a neighborhood where you just have to take a tree out?
Yeah, a lot of times for various reasons, whether it's a fast-growing tree that we can't maintain, or maybe there's a lot of decay in the tree, we're concerned about the tree coming apart onto our facilities, or maybe we're rebuilding our facilities in our neighborhood. We'll go in and we'll talk to a property owner and get their permission to remove the tree, and in turn we'll give them a tree coupon that they can take to a participating nursery and redeem it for what we call a utility-friendly tree, something that has a mature height of maybe 15 to 20 feet, like maybe a dogwoods or some of the ornamental plums, something of the ornamental varieties.
If there's a tree on your property that's not threatening electrical service, but you'd like it pruned or removed for landscaping, you'll need to hire a professional tree removal contractor to do the work. If necessary, we can disconnect a service line for their workers' safety. When you decide to plant a tree in your yard, it's smart to choose the right type of tree for the space. This is especially important around power lines and reduces the need for pruning later on. Trees that can grow 25 feet tall or more when mature should be planted at least 25 feet away from overhead power lines. Low-growing trees, types that reach fewer than 25 feet tall when mature, may be planted next to overhead power lines. Trees and shrubs should be planted at least 10 feet away from ground-mounted transformers. Trees that grow taller than 40 feet when mature should be planted even farther away from overhead lines. Get our booklet about the best trees to plant near power lines, small trees for small places, and learn more about our tree maintenance program at pacificpower.net/trees.